Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Matchday -1 press conference with England coach Gareth Southgate and captain Harry Kane. You know the drill by now, but can I please remind you to wait for the microphone and raise your hand before asking a question. Questions in one of the interpreted languages, which today are English, German, Slovakian and Italian. And introduce yourselves and your outlet. Can we start with, Rob Dorset, Sky Sport?
Hi Gareth, hi Harry. Rob Dorset from Sky Sports News. If I can do a quick one to each of you, that would be great. Gareth first, England's performances in the group stages have been analysed to death. But this is the start of the knockout stages now, so I wonder whether you start afresh, you turn a page, and whether it feels to you like the real business starts now, and maybe you've seen the intensity level amongst the players kind of increase in the last day or so.
Yeah, I would say yes. Of course, you have to get through that first phase, and there are moments within that where always in that second game, if you keep pushing, you can lose a game, and if you get a point, you know you're through. So that affects some of the actions at certain moments. And now you're into that world of it has to happen on the day. You've got to go for it. We've been here before many times. We know what it entails. I think everybody's excited now about the challenge, and we know we play a very good opponent, and so we have to be right on our game with and without the ball. And we know that some parts of our game we've executed well, and some we need to do better. But I've seen a lot of signs within the game against Slovenia and since then that's starting to come. So yeah, I'm excited about the game tomorrow.
Harry, is that still on? Harry, we've been looking at your stats. 6 goals in your last 6 knockout games for England. Those would suggest this is when you come alive. Does something change inside you?
I'm not too sure. I think it's kind of the process of the tournament as well. I think naturally you get physically stronger, naturally you get sharper as you play more games. So we've had 3 games in a short space of time. So I feel like not just for me, but a lot of the players come into their peak sharpness at the knockout stage, and that's what I've found in especially recent tournaments as well. So yeah, look. Being the striker in the team, obviously, I want to score goals and help the team get through to the next round. But yeah, if it's not me who scores and we get through anyway, I'm not going to complain. But yeah, it could be down to just the sharpness aspect of it. But ultimately, I enjoy these games. I think yeah, knockout football is a different prospect to group stage, and we've handled that well in the past, and now it's time to do that again.
Hello, Harry. Jan Jasenka, Sportdesk. What are your thoughts of Slovakian squad, and what do you expect from them in tomorrow's game? Thank you.
Yeah, I think they've got some. Well, they have some great players. I think their biggest aspect is them as a team. I think they like to press high with a lot of intensity and make it difficult for the opponent. And then they like to keep possession. They like to play out and use the pivot to control the game. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game. We're expecting, like I say, a physical team with a lot of quality. So we're going to have to be ready for that. But as always, we prepare like we prepare for any team. We always feel like we're capable of getting the result we want, but we know we're going to have to be on the top of our game to reach that.
James Robson, Associated Press. Gareth, I think you've mentioned a couple of times since the other night that you understand what the way the fans are feeling about you. I just wonder what you actually mean by that, because I think before the tournament you said something like you can't keep standing in front of them with the same message because they don't want to keep hearing it. So I just wonder what you mean by that when you say you understand the way they feel towards you.
To be honest, it's irrelevant. The most important thing is the support for the team, and what I said the other night was to try to make sure that we get the sort of support the team got in the stadium in the second half. Simple as that. My job is to create the best possible environment for the players to fight their cause at the right times, to take responsibility at the right times, and the team need the fans, so they should never underestimate what a lift it gives to the team when they are like they were in the second half against Slovenia. And I'm certain going into this knockout phase they're going to be the same. They're going to be right behind the team, and it gives the team such a lift, and that's all that matters.
Hi, Henry Winter, World Soccer. Harry, a question for you, if I may. What is your message, on the back of what Gareth just said, what is your message to the England fans? Thank you.
Well, I think, if I'm totally honest, I think 99% of the fans are behind the team and the manager. I think, of course, both as a player and as a coach, you're going to have times where people voice their opinion, and that's part and parcel of playing for England. That's the bottom line. But I think, like the boss said there, the second half in that game especially was one of the best atmospheres I've been involved in, and it shows how much the fans care about the team, care about us trying to win the game, and that's all that matters. You know, we're a very strong group, not just players but staff as well. We know what it's taken to achieve what we've achieved in the last kind of 6 years or so, or longer. And we know it's going to be, you know, a very tough journey from now until the end of this tournament if we want to go all the way. So that's all that matters, is fighting for each other on the training pitch, on the match pitch. And that's what we'll continue to do. And I know the fans are behind us with that.
Hi, Gareth. Hi, Harry. Jerry Lawton, Daily Star. Massive day tomorrow. But 21st birthday is pretty big for somebody today. I was just wondering how you managed to balance Jude's 21st and the joy that often most people see with the professionalism about preparing for tomorrow's event.
Well, we didn't go crate a beer out this morning, that's for sure. So it's also Eberetiezi's birthday today, and obviously Phil Foden has another addition to the household as well in the last few days. So there's been a lot to celebrate, and good feel about the camp. I think the players have enjoyed some time together, not just training. You know, we had a day where we were able to get off their feet and not think about football, and I think that's important in a tournament. You know, you're surrounded by football. Every conversation can lean that way and guide that way. So I think to have a couple of days where they could play golf, they could play paddle, they could do whatever they wanted to do. There's no science behind that, there's no data behind that, but there's something about enjoyment that you have to remind yourself, and I think that's a crucial part of a team.
Hi both, good luck tomorrow. James Ollie from ESPN. Just firstly, is everybody available to start tomorrow, Gareth?
Well, Luke wouldn't be available to start, but we'll have a chat with the medical team, see whether he can play a part, or whether it's whether he could do with a little bit more training first.
Everybody else, Kieran, Phil Foden,
all good. Yeah.
And at the last two tournaments, the performance level seemed to go up quite significantly in the first knockout round, beating Senegal and obviously beating Germany at Wembley. How much confidence can you take from that? And is sort of the reality that nobody will really care about the rights and wrongs of the group stage if you get it right from here?
Well, that is the reality, and of course we have to deliver it. So, but the fact is, you go into a different mental state. It's everybody knows that knockout football is jeopardy. Everybody knows that on a given day, an opponent can make it really tough for you. You know that the quality of the opposition left is high. And so it changes the mindset. It's about how far can we go. We're trying to achieve something exceptional, but it's a step at a time. And tomorrow is a chance to improve aspects of our game, but to show composure at the moments. The game will take us in different directions at different moments, and you've got to be able to respond and react in the right way at all of those moments. So, we have thrived in those challenges in the past, and we're looking forward to tomorrow.
Hi, Gareth. Jack Pitbrook from The Athletic. You've been pretty honest about your assessment of the performances in the group stage games. Are you thinking more about small tweaks from that at the moment, or more fundamental changes?
Well, I think a team is never quite as poor as people might think, and never quite as good as people might think. You're probably about 5% off where you'd like to be, and therefore you've got to be very careful not to throw everything out the window and lose things that you're doing well and lose continuity and the confidence that comes from players playing together and the understanding that comes from those moments. And you have to ignore external advice and be assured in what you're doing. So now, equally, we've had some players that have come in and had a big impact from the bench. You know, our substitutions in all of the matches have had a big impact, and we're mindful that people are pushing for places. There's competition. We need that strength in depth. The squad are very together. They're training well. That's pushing the starting team that's been in place. But also the other players have to be ready. Tomorrow you might need 5-6 changes. It's over half the team now. So that's really, really important. And for us, it's important that when players come on, they perform as the guys did the other night.
Hi Gareth, Eric Petersburg, Germany. We hope not, but what would it mean for you personally as the English manager and also for the English football if it goes wrong tomorrow night in terms of the future?
I'm not sure why we would think about it going wrong the night before a game. So yeah, we know it's a tough opponent. We know we have to play very, very well. They're a well-coached team. They have a good spirit. They run a lot, and they play well. So, you know, we have to give a very good version of ourselves to win the game. Simple as that.
Hello, this is Pierre from L'Equipe. Gareth, in 1996 you were part of a team that were not that confident, and after the famous goal of Gaza against Scotland, suddenly the dynamics changed. And I was wondering, do you think it could be the same? Maybe a great goal could help this team to get confidence and to fulfill its potential?
Yeah, I think confidence is growing because the players know that a lot of the performance against Slovenia was a step in the right direction. We have to find more quality in the final third, more incisiveness in the final third, but we have the players to do that, and that understanding of playing together and sticking to the plan and making sure that we show the right level of composure to sustain attacks when we're in those areas of the pitch. All of those things will add to the performance. So, of course, goals have a huge impact on individuals and huge impact on teams, but it doesn't necessarily have to be just one moment. I think you have to keep showing evidence of what you're doing well and building belief in what you're doing.
Question for Gareth. Another question about the psychology ahead of a big game like this. What do you say to the players? Do you just talk about how big and important this game is to so many people, or can it sometimes be better to make sure that the fear of losing doesn't overpower or limit the performance?
Yeah, we shouldn't have a fear of losing. It's about opportunity, you know. You're trying to reach for something that's a challenge, and we've lost football matches before, and you wake up the next morning, you feel pretty poor about it, but life goes on, you know. So when you're at that point and that you can handle the worst that could happen, then you're free to go and try and win the game. And I think with the players we have, they've got great experience of knockout matches. I think that's really helpful. The senior players have shown great leadership through this whole tournament. They're passing on their experiences to the players that haven't been involved in the tournament before. And as a group, they're you know, mixing, bonding, understanding each other better. The more time you spend with people, the better you get to know them, the more those bonds build, and you start to enjoy each other's company and understand people better. So that's part of forming a team, and I've liked how I've seen that over the last few days.
Yeah, last couple of questions.
Thank you. Dan Rowan, BBC. Gareth, we were asked about Jude a little earlier, and he said after the Slovenia game that he felt absolutely dead, as he put it. There were a few concerns about that language. Maybe he was struggling with burnout after a very intense season with Real Madrid, a fantastic season, but a long one. Are you concerned about the impact of the campaign he's had? Is he feeling the effects of that? Have you had to consider resting him, or is he in good order?
No, I think when you're walking off a pitch and you've given everything, you're inevitably going to feel physically in a certain way and perhaps emotionally in a certain way. So he missed a period towards the end of the season with an ankle injury, and then towards the end of the season he didn't play every game because they were preparing for a Champions League final. So I think he will have benefited from the matches we've had, and then the recovery period in between, as have a number of players really. But of course we've always got to be mindful of the quality we have to be able to come into the game, the freshness, how freshness might make a difference in the latter stages of matches. But yeah, I'm not concerned about where he's at in terms of his condition at all. He's obviously smiling a lot today. It's a big day for him, and a reminder of his age and how well he deals with all the expectation around him at a remarkably young age. You know, I can think of few players who've had to live in that world, and I can understand that his world is different to most other 21-year-olds that I know. So he's dealing with that exceptionally well.
Gareth, this game is your 99th in charge of England, which is an extraordinary statistic and record in its own right, which I know how proud you are of that, especially in light of the way you've been treated personally in recent days. But there's an obvious question about how desperate you are to make your century.
Yeah, that whatever the total will be a number you look back on. When you finished, I got 57 caps. I'm proud of every one, but just getting caps wasn't why I wanted to play for England. I wanted to win things. I played in a semi-final. I've obviously managed a semi-final and managed in a final. So 3 of the biggest 5 tournaments we've ever had. I've been fortunate to have been involved in all of them. And yeah, tomorrow is that number is irrelevant to me. It's about the team progressing and taking a step forward. So that might be something when I'm sat later in life, but yeah, I'm just desperate to do well for my country, lead this group of players and staff who I absolutely love working with and think so much of, lead them through another what could be another brilliant night, and create some more memories for our supporters, really.
Thank you very much. Everyone, the Media Hub is open until 10:30 tonight. Thank you. Thank you.